What's going on, y'all? It's KB. I love movies. Welcome back to the conversation. It's been a minute since I had one, so I figured, why don't we just bring them back? We have a good guest tonight. Hopefully, everyone's in the chat. If you have questions for our guest tonight, feel free to drop them in there. You know, I'm going to have questions. He's going to have questions. We're going to have a conversation. So it's going to be good. Uh, I can't even start without recognizing the passing of James Earl Jones earlier today. You know, you think of the man, you think of the iconic roles that he played. Of course, the voice of Darth Vader, not necessarily in the suit, but the voice of Darth Vader. And of course, talking about voices, the voice of Mufasa, um, starting some hood classics, whether it's the Coming to America movies, Claudine, The Great White Hope, two movies from the 70s, and then other classics as well. I mean, it's too many to name, but like Hunt for Red October, the first Conan the Barbarian movie, Dr. Strangelove, which when I saw that in film class, I was like, oh wow, that's a young James Earl Jones there. So, he had a really great career as an actor. Of course, the voice of CNN, we've heard that for years as well. But you know, he'll be missed, and we have his art and his legacy to stay with us and remember him by. So definitely, if you're in the chat now, or you want to leave a comment if you're watching this on the replay, please feel free to do so. We already have some comments coming in. We'll get to them, but I just want to bring up here, we have Mika in the house. What's up, sis? Great actor, brilliance and excellence personified. He left a great legacy and we will be greatly missed. Very true. Very true. A couple other things before we bring in our guests tonight. Over the weekend, I got a chance to go to a screening of a movie that's coming out this Friday, and I made a little spoiler-free out of the theater review, even though I wasn't in a theater technically. You don't need to know the details of that. But it's a new Aubrey Plaza movie called My Old Ass. It was a big hit at Sundance, and it's coming out this Friday, written and directed by Megan Park. And I don't know. Check out the review. It's on my channel after you're done here. Tell me what you think. If you get a chance to see it, if you're planning to see it this weekend, just leave a comment and let me know. And what else? What else? I don't know, but enough delay. Let's go ahead and bring in our guests. I saw the monkey dropped a intro here, so I'll go to the monkeys first. To a veteran of the Steelbook battles, and his showing up on Heat Street. Yeah, man, Jagoda, bring back Heat Street. Come back, Shane. He went on to create classics such as What Am I Watching, Dad? And By the Numbers. Faces for Radio, though, I feel is his Mona Lisa. I might have to agree with you there. Our guest on this episode of Conversation is a podcast host. He's a comic book reader, so didn't even think about that. We got that in common too. Baseball enthusiast, and for our purposes tonight, an avid movie collector. He is one half of the Faces for Radio podcast duo. His name is Rich, but you could find him everywhere under TurnerFan77. What's up, my friend?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. Like I said before, long time coming.
Yeah, it is, man.
Long time coming. I don't even know when we first discussed doing this, but
it's been a while.
Yeah. And I was just thinking through it, and then of course we got a chance to finally meet each other.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, it was. For those of you that don't know, we had a meetup in Iowa, and I got a chance to meet Rich, Cory, Jake Boston. Little sis Mel showed up, so I got to see her again.
She's a sweetheart.
J-Man, yeah, she is. She is such a sweetheart. If y'all don't know My Killer Podcast, you need to know. Who else? Jay. Who am I forgetting? Bobby Blue. Of course.
He was there.
Gotta talk about Bobby Blue, man. So yeah, it was good to see him again as well.
Super nice. That was my first time meeting. all you
Yeah.
guys. I mean, in person, and all you guys were totally awesome.
Yeah. The nice thing about these meetups when we do them is I don't know about you, but for me it's like I watch most of my YouTube content on like a big screen, whether it's in my
Hmm.
living room or whatever. So it's like people you come into my home. You know,
Yeah,
my daughter knows like a Ken video or a Susan video, or she knows what night I'm watching Faces or whatever it is, and
yeah.
it's like it almost becomes like a routine because you're coming into my home each and every time. So it's really nice to meet people and then realize for the most part everybody's the way they present themselves.
Hmm.
No one's really perpetrating a fraud of some sort.
Right.
So that's like really refreshing. And you could tell some people are nervous and all that,
I
but
was
it
nervous. I ain't go. I
yeah,
was really nervous. Yeah, because I'm
really.
antisocial. Yeah, I am very antisocial. And
Ah.
but everybody was so kind. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I felt welcomed. I didn't feel out of place. The one thing that caught me off guard was how tall you were. That's the one thing that caught me off guard. I didn't realize
Hey,
how
I
tall you
wasn't the
were.
only one. Jake's tall too. He's up there too. He's towering.
Hmm. And I didn't
And
realize how short Jay was either.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
And
funny.
then I went down, oh my gosh, when was that? July. So I went down in July to see my folks in Florida, and I got a chance to meet Brian and Coco. Brian goes blue and
Oh
Coco
yeah.
too. And I knew he was taller than me,
Oh wow.
but when I stood next to him, I think he's like 6'7", 6'8". Actually, we went to see, Deadpool and Wolverine together that opening weekend, but dude is tall. So it's like when I could say at 6'5" that somebody else is tall, they're tall. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was like, wow. So yeah, he really surprised you. But same thing. It's like they're sweethearts. They're a nice couple and everything, and they were great to meet. Um, Treated my wife well. She
That's
liked
awesome.
hanging out with them and everything. So, you treat the lady right, you're good with
Yeah.
me. So that's how I see
And,
it.
like when we sat down to eat lunch, where I forget the place where it was,
Mhm.
I was sitting next to you, and I just didn't be able to talk to you. I felt comfortable, like I could just chit chat with you without my nerves going crazy. So it
Yeah.
felt like I knew you, even
Yeah.
though I've never met you, which was really, really nice
Mhm.
for someone like me.
And then we had the game on, and
Yeah.
we could easily talk about baseball.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're gonna hop into these questions, but before we
Yeah.
get to the movie stuff, um, let's talk a little sports ball. If you're not into that, people just hang on. We'll talk some sports ball quickly. We'll check the chat, then we'll get into the movie stuff. But you got your card shirt on. I
Yeah.
got my NY in my head, always with the
Hmm.
Yankees fitted. How are you boys looking?
Not
Currently
good.
in third. You
Yeah.
think they could catch up 6 games behind?
I say no.
Hmm.
I don't think so. There's just too much. It's hard
Yeah,
to battle up, or punch up, however you say it.
yeah.
I think their season's done.
And I
Um,
think what it is now is that everybody's like trying to play their best ball
mhm.
because they're jockeying for position, and they want to be able to, I don't know, bring their A game as the season progresses. And once you get past August and you're in the
Yeah.
run, it's like everybody starts, unless you're the Royals, they started sliding for a minute there, but they caught themselves. And now they're coming back.
Or you're the White Sox. Oof.
uh Actually, both Chicago teams, because Cubbies, I thought they were going to be there.
I did
And
too.
I think, are they second or third in the wild card standings with
I think
you?
third. I think
Yeah,
or I think they're second or third. I think you're
yeah.
right.
All right, we can't talk too much ball. I just I had
I
to
just
throw
think the
that out
Cardinals need
there.
to change the front office. They need a front office change.
You get comfortable. You get
Hmm.
comfortable, and when you have a series or a bunch of like winning years, even if you just make the playoffs, you think that's always going to be the case. You got to shake it up every once in a while.
Yep.
We are not alone, so let us see who is joining us in the chat. I know Tiana stopped by before.
What's up, Tiana?
Yeah, wanted to stop by and show some love for you both. Hope you have a great stream. Thank you, dear.
She's awesome.
She is. The monkey once again welcomes you, saying that we should get jackets. I don't know if Richard would wear them because they're navy with a pinstripe option. I don't know if he would wear it. He likes the cardinal red.
I wear my Cardinals, man. I bleed cardinal red.
Yes, actually, I do like the cards more. I won't get into it, but more than local teams. Emmett wants to know if you've seen the Crow remake.
Yes, I have, and it was terrible. Yeah,
that's a nice thing about the podcast. You get a chance to see a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about that more. Who else do we have in here? We got Adrian James in the house saying hello there. Adrian. Hello. The guy we were just talking about backstage.
Yeah.
We got Cory here from Wilkie's Movies and Music. Great seeing you two doing a show together. Sorry you can't join live, but we'll be checking out the replay. Yeah, please do.
Make sure you hit that like too.
Cory's such a great guy. That's exactly what we were saying before. Yeah. So when you watch that on the replay, know that we were talking about you before.
Maybe for no start itching or something, you know why.
We got Magic Hands in the house.
What's up, Magic Hands?
As we saw before, we got Mika in the house. We got Guy here saying, please hit the like button for everyone's favorite father figure. Me, you.
I think he's talking to you.
Oh, okay.
We're both
I don't know who he's talking to, but I'll take it. Go ahead and do all the good stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 blah. The algorithm likes that stuff. I don't get into it. They do. So we'll just leave it at that. Who else is in here? We got Jeff in the house. John Doe, Juggalo.
What's up, Jeff?
Saying good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Talking about sirs, we got Mr. Tony in the house. Good
What's up,
evening. Happy anniversary once again. Blessings to you and Sonia very much.
Oh, can I say something about Tony real quick?
Please do.
I remember when I was going to go on, I hadn't done the YouTube thing much. And I was going to go on, and I'll always be thankful for Tony. I don't even know if he remembers this. I was nervous as all get out because I wasn't a camera person because look at me, I'm ugly. That's why we're faces for radio. But anyway, he did this little mock live thing to like ease my nerves with me. And it really helped. So I'll always be grateful for Tony for doing that for me. So thank you for that, Tony.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm grateful for him.
In the same respect, you know, the person I called last from the meetup, Bobby Blue, Bob's Blu-rays, was the one who did the exact same thing for me. He just took me through a mock thing of using StreamYard and said, okay, this is like this. Have you ever used PowerPoint? I was like, dude, I'm a former corporate trainer. I taught PowerPoint for 20 years. He's like, then you know how to use StreamYard. It's like using PowerPoint. I was like, oh, okay. And that's all he had to tell me. And I was like, oh, I could do this. But he gave me the confidence to think that I could do this. So shout out to you, Bob. And as always, respect to Mr. Tony.
Yeah. I hope I get to meet Bob again because he was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he is. We got Prince in the house.
What's up, Prince?
He loves the government names. You're killing me, dude. You're killing me. Prince, good news for you. I'm talking to the lady over the weekend, and she says, you know, we need to start doing the wheel again. So she wants to do the date night movie roulette. So it's coming back at least once a weekend. Fridays if she's not available, Saturday if she is. So for those of you that don't know, my wife and I started this thing where we put all the movies that I think she'll want to watch and unopened movies on a wheel of names. And we just let the universe decide because Lord knows you could sit there for an hour saying, what about this? What about that? I hate that movie. Or you could death scroll on Netflix for an hour. So instead of that, we just said, you know what? Here's all my movies. And it lands on, I guess we're watching Peanut Butter Falcon tonight, whatever the case may be.
I love that movie. Such a great movie.
That's for Bob. He loves that movie too. Always recommends it.
Yeah, I love that movie. It was 2019, right?
think so. That was a great year for cinema.
Yeah, it was.
It really
I think
was.
that's my favorite year in a long time.
Same here. Same here. We got Jane Doe Letty
What's
saying
up,
good
Jane Doe?
evening. Hope you're both having a great evening. We are.
I
Thank you
am.
for checking in. Rebel Ridge. I'm hearing some things about that one way or the other. So
Yeah. To me, it felt too long.
yeah.
It's 2.5 hours, I think, and
Oh
it just
wow.
felt.
We need
Yeah.
to get back to 95-minute movies.
I
I
liked
miss
the
that
lead
from
in
the
it. He did a
80s.
fantastic job. It just felt long and dragged out in spots.
Mm. Who else is here? We got Miss Caveman.
What's up, Miss K,
Hello.
man?
Good to see
Hope you're
you.
doing good.
Watching Kill today. I love that movie. Kill was
I
fun.
haven't seen that yet.
It comes out on physical tomorrow if you want to
Oh,
pick it up.
I might have to. Or
Yeah.
rent it.
Yeah. Brother Dell in the house
What's up,
saying,
Dell?
what's up? What's up?
Another great guy. I would love the opportunity to meet.
Yeah, that's my brother right there. Coco is actually tall in comparison to Brian. Actually, Coco was taller than I expected. I thought my wife is like 5'5". I thought she'd be like right around there. She was taller. Not by much, but she was taller. And she's not Brian tall. But she's, taller than my wife. I'll say that. Yeah, man, we have to throw in some sports ball in there. I'm not going to wear a Yankees cap and talk to another baseball fan and not talk baseball. Come on.
Well, I have one more quick question for you about baseball. What's your favorite era of baseball?
My favorite what?
Era of baseball.
It's
80s,
going to
90s.
sound weird because of the team that I follow, but I learned about baseball in the Reggie Jackson and Pinstripes era. So late 70s going into the 80s. So the time that I loved the 80s was the time when the Yankees stunk. But then it gave me a chance to learn about other people, Willie Stargell and, Ozzie Smith,
Yes.
Wizard of Oz and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I learned other teams and other baseball players because my team was so horrid. And it's too easy to say the 90s because the Yankees ruled that era. But I would say the 80s because that's when I was discovering baseball and, being in New York at the time, we had two teams. I actually started watching the Mets, Ralph Kiner and Nicole and whatnot on Channel 9. But it was a great way to learn the sport without being just like a diehard bandwagon fan. So, and then we also had Dave Winfield in there too. So
oh yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a stack house for sure. Yeah. We got Nate.
What's up, Nate?
What's up,
Speaking
my man?
Of a Mets fan.
Yeah.
Mets fan. That's the one downfall with Nate. He likes the Mets.
We'll talk about it when I have him on the conversation. He sent me a picture and I was like, ooh, I know how we're going to open up the conversation. He's like, it's not about the Mets hat, right? I was like, maybe.
Nate, all kidding aside, Nate is really cool. He's one of my favorite people. He rides my balls all the time, man, but I love him.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Like I said on Friday, it was from when I did my conversation with second cousin David 2 years ago that I first found out about Nate and Alex and Geeks and Flicks. And I was like, who are these guys?
Yeah, I really like Alex and Nate.
He is watching some football. And a Jets fan. Oh, double football, whammy.
I watched my first NFL game with my daughter, Malia. The one I did. I used to do.
Yeah.
She loves football. I don't know where she gets this from.
Is it the Taylor Swift effect, or was it before that?
No, she don't like the Chiefs. No, she is a diehard Cincinnati Bengals fan.
Really?
And yes, and
of all teams.
I know, of all teams. So I sat down and watched the game with her Sunday.
Yeah.
She was mad because they lost, and she had to tell me all this because I don't know football. I don't know rules, and she said my 13-year-old daughter schooling me on football, which I loved it.
Yeah. I like when they turn around and they can, it's almost like you see their personality grow and they start to get into their own things. And then it's like they're bringing you into their world. So I love that. I love that.
Too.
I'm trying to get through these to get started. How many movies did you log on Letterboxd in one day? The most I ever did was 7, but not this weekend. Tony says he remembers and was happy to help.
Oh,
That's who he is, man.
yeah.
Oh,
Tony's
the
awesome.
best father figure would be James Earl Jones. Oh, okay.
Oh.
And then it says we're great fathers too. So
Well, thank you, man.
Prince is happy about the return of the wheel. Yes, Peanut Butter Falcon is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, Vince Coleman, or Willie McGee?
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah,
I am gonna go Vince Coleman because man, he could steal those bases
yeah. He
like
was a
no
fast
other.
dude.
Yeah.
Fast. Nonstop action in a very close in space
I
because it
might
takes
rent that
place on the
tomorrow.
train. A lot of hand to hand. Hello, it's me. Hello, Sarah.
What's up, Sarah?
We got
Jerry.
Jerry in the house. What up?
What's
What
up,
up? What
Jerry?
up? Don't get in fights with Jets fans. He's not even here. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Reggie. I actually got to do that in person in stadium in the early 80s. So I'm home off Jerry Kuzman of the Twins. Wow. That's a great memory right there. Because
Yeah,
Kuzman
that's
used to bring
awesome.
the heat. Oh my gosh. Every Jets fan is long suffering. Yeah, it's in the name, man. It's in the name. All right. I caught up. All right.
Awesome. Let's jump into this.
So I see some pops behind you and I see some movies. So I have to ask. And if you follow Rich on Instagram, you probably know what I'm talking about. Pretty much this is his tag anywhere you go,
Yeah.
TurnerFan77. So how's the movie collection challenge going?
I just got to my H's.
Mm-hmm.
Finally made it to my H's, and I think that's gonna take me through the year.
Yeah.
Um, because I have a ton of H's. I got all the Harry Potters, I got all the Halloweens, um, and just whatever mishmash of stuff that I bought
Mm-hmm.
randomly. So I think it's gonna take me to the rest of the year. Maybe get through it by mid December. Um,
Yeah. Fill the people in on what that is, what you're
well,
doing.
I kind of got tired of looking at my collection. It's like, man, I haven't watched hardly any of these movies. So I have about 15, 1,700 movies. And I was like, you know what? I started 3 years ago. Yes, maybe 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch all my movies in alphabetical order. I just
Starting
started
with
with
numbers.
I started with my numbers, made it through all my numbers, and then in 2020, I think this is my third year doing it.
Yeah.
I'm only in my H's, so and some of them hadn't even opened yet, and I was like, man, I better open this,
Yeah.
watched it, and it makes me appreciate my collection a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so. I know a lot of us, we guesstimate our percentage of unopens, and I'm currently in my second year with Mika and a couple other people doing these movie goals. We pick like 5 things for the year, and that's our movie goals. And I'm seriously considering I'm already starting to think about next year. And for next year, I'm seriously considering taking the first quarter and not rewatching anything that I've seen before. So Mark
Oh
Hamill,
wow,
God forbid, Mark Hamill could die. I am not watching Star Wars. I'm going to
yeah,
watch everything unopened in my collection, whether I've seen it before or not, because a lot of my collection are things that I've seen, but it's like, oh, I got Evil Dead Rises and I put it on the shelf. And then I don't watch it for another 2 years, So
hmm
yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. Just starting the year off by just spending 3 months just watching new things, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy something new. So, say I go and I get this, I'm going to watch this. I'm not going to, you know, watch Halloween H2O again,
right.
just to get through
That's
some of the collection because,
that's a good
like you're
idea.
saying, there's so much that just
Hmm
sits there, and it's like you should actually
Yeah,
watch your stuff.
yeah. I just found myself appreciating what I had more instead of just being like, oh, okay, I need this, I need this. You know
Hmm.
what? I'm gonna take the time. I'm gonna watch it.
That's so cool. Caveman says, "Wait until you get to the S's in your retirement
Oh, I
years.
have so
The
many
S's
S's.
are gonna take forever."
Ever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. Um, we had a good time on Friday.
We did.
Yeah, we had a little. I said it was kind of like a YouTube telethon. We just
Yeah.
needed like a Jerry Lewis in the background or
Mhm.
something tallying the thing. But um, one of the things that we were bringing up were top films, and we'll come back and talk about that. But the top films, our top 5 films of the year, and someone brought up, I think it was Bob, about Daddy-O. So what is Daddy-O about, and why is it your favorite movie of the year, low
It's
key?
one of them. Yeah, I don't know, it just caught me off guard. I
Yeah.
was bored one day, I was like, "I'm gonna go to the movie theater," really wasn't a whole lot playing, and I like, Dakota Johnson,
Mhm.
and I was like, "She's in it." I'm not a big fan of Sean Penn, uh, and I just went in. This dude Sean Penn picks her up at the airport. I think it's the airport, yeah, the airport, and he's driving her to her apartment, and that's the movie. But they're just talking about life, like she's I don't wanna spoil too much,
Yeah.
but it felt real. It felt like if you're in an Uber having a conversation with somebody, it
Mhm.
just felt real, like because the conversation she has with Sean Penn, I've seen people have this conversation, and I've kinda eavesdropped, you know, because that's what we do. If you're a people watcher, you eavesdrop
Yeah,
into
yeah.
this. Um, yeah, it's just a good movie, man.
Yeah,
I'm
check it
gonna
out.
buy it.
I just saw your eyes, and I'll put the link in the description, but I just saw your eyes light up when, you guys are going back and forth talking about it, and I was like, "Really? What is this movie about? I gotta check this movie out." But, just your reaction when, they brought it up, it was like, "Wow." So,
Yeah. Yeah, I
um
really like it's a simple film.
mhm,
Again, it's shot basically inside of a cab,
right,
and
like a one location kinda
yep,
movie.
yeah.
And where is it? Is it on a streaming service?
It was in theaters, it just hit I don't know if it's on premium VOD right now or if it's
Yeah,
regular VOD, but you can rent it
yeah,
on Vudu, iTunes, Amazon Prime, or
mhm.
whatever.
I
Yeah.
like to see that you're one of these people that still, you have your physical media collection, that's obvious, but you still support streaming movies. There are some
Mhm.
people that say, I have my physical, I'm swearing it off, and,
A movie's
all
a
this
movie.
stuff. It's a movie.
Yeah, a movie's a movie.
Yeah. Like I said, we went to an outdoor movie
That's
over the
awesome.
weekend,
That is
and
so
it
awesome.
it was just nice. It's turning fall. We went from sunny and 77, it dropped down to 58, had to zip up the hoodie and whatnot. It was an
Yeah.
experience, and to me, especially a first time watch for a movie, it should be an experience, whatever you're
Yes.
watching.
I
So
always say, um, going to the theater is a communal experience because I love having seen other people's reaction to movies, and you get I don't know, it's just weird how you have the I don't call it a high, but it's just like
it's
you feed
visceral.
off each other.
Yeah, it's so visceral.
Yeah. I mean,
Especially, certain genres you feel that more with, like, I love and I'm talking Mika is one of the people I've discussed this with several times. I love going to see a new horror movie the weekend it comes out with, like, true horror fans. Like, my favorite theater is 35 minutes away from me, which, I AMC is based here, so that's a far drive for me. I got 2 AMC movie theaters within 10 minutes of each other, but I will go 35 minutes away plus to go and experience a movie with other movie lovers that really get into it. Because to me,
that's awesome.
that's better than just, oh, I got the kids for the weekend, so I'm gonna take them to the movies and spend $50 on popcorn, and everybody's on their phone because nobody respects what's going on the
Yeah,
screen. I hate that. I hate that.
I do too.
Yeah,
I
there
do
you
too.
go. Horror is the best
Yeah,
for that collective experience. It is so
yeah,
true.
yeah.
It is so true, and
And
it's true.
you brought there's a place I agree.
Yeah.
Um, like there's a movie that I would have never seen because I would have never went to the theater and seen it. I don't even know if it got a theatrical release, and I absolutely loved it, and it was Coda. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think even won the Oscar for Best Picture, I think,
Yes,
didn't
it
it?
did.
Um, and that was a digital only movie, I think. Or no, because
Mhm.
it had to get a limited theatrical run, right?
Well, 2 weeks. You just need 2 weeks, but yes, I believe that was Apple TV. That's probably why a lot of people haven't seen it, because it was Apple TV.
And that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Man,
Still
I
no
don't.
physical here in the States.
I know. I want that movie so bad.
Yeah.
But I don't sleep on streaming movies. Because you never know
Yeah.
what you'll like.
It's true, and you have to be open to all of it. You have to be open to all of it, because that's when you find those hidden gems, man. You find them in the places you don't expect them to be. That's why they're hidden.
Yeah.
I know I said this to you. Yeah, there you go. This is a US thing. Coda is stuck on Apple TV.
Mhm.
Especially since it won the Oscar. It's a money grab for them now.
Yeah.
I know one of the first things that I told you when we met was I really miss What Am I Watching, Dad? And the monkey mentioned it earlier. And I said, you got to tell your daughter, because I'm sure she's thinking, nobody watched that, Dad. It's just us.
I know.
But
Yeah. I did. I told her when I got back from our trip, I said, yeah, KB brought it up, and she's like, I tried to talk to her. She's like, Dad, I don't want to do it. So I'm not going to force her to do it.
right, right.
She's 13. She's too cool for that now.
Yeah.
She's into football.
Yeah. Hey, she's into something.
Yeah.
She's into something.
But
So
I have those memories.
once again, tell the people what the series was about.
So what am I watching, Dad? Was a series I did with my daughter Malia, and I would show her movies that she's never seen before. And I tried to pick some of just the craziest ones that I think she might not like, just to get her reaction. And we'd watch it together. It was a sneaky way for me to spend time with her without, that was my ultimate goal, was just to spend a
Yeah.
couple hours with her, just one on one. And
Yeah.
I'd get her thoughts. I'll show her a trailer, record her thoughts. And then after the movie, she would talk about it. And I think she maybe liked like three of the movies that we watched. Um, I remember her watching Howard the Duck, and she absolutely hated it. She's like, "Why did you make me watch this?" She's like, "It was so." She was like, "Dad, I could use better special effects and CapCut or something." And she was
Yeah.
like, "I was
But
just
realize how many years ago that was compared
yeah,
to something you and your friends could do, like you're
yeah,
saying, for a TikTok or whatever. It's a different time. It's going to be a different experience. That's one thing when the kids were younger, and their mother's favorite show is I Love Lucy. So they're already used to watching comedies and sitcoms from a different era. I say you have to appreciate TV and movies for the time that they're in. Yes, you could walk around the planet with your phone now, but once upon a time you had to stand in one
yeah,
place because it was a wired telephone.
yeah,
I still remember having like a 50-foot cord so I could take the phone to my bedroom so I
yeah,
could mac to some girl on the phone without my mother like listening in the same room.
yeah.
But you got everything in context. But
Remember calling the movie theater to get the times for the movies?
You know, I had my wife's birthday was over the weekend, and we did a podcast for my podcast, The Center Seat. She was my guest, and we were talking about that. She, when we were dating, she's like, how did we find out when the movie was? Did we use the newspaper? Did we call, or did we just show up and see what was starting within the time that we were there? I was like, probably any and all of those situations.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'll tell people I'm 54. I remember when there were ushers in the theaters. So
yep,
yeah, it's a
yeah.
different time. So it's a matter of context and time for sure.
Sometimes it was so much
Del,
simpler.
Del says, "Don't make excuses for how the dog it was crap."
Yeah, Malia hated it.
Oh my gosh. It was something. It was
Yeah,
something. The chat
now
is
with her,
also going back and forth about how long it takes to get to a movie theater or a decent one. Tony says I drive that distance for work every day. So I just try to go to the movies after work to watch in a nicer theater.
oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
I mean, I've always been fortunate to be close to nice theaters, whether it was growing up back east, or like I said before, AMC being based here in Kansas City. There was one 10 minutes away. The one next to their headquarters, which is their premium theater, is 20 minutes. So I know they have the better Dolby, they have the better IMAX. You know, some people are happy if they have a Dolby or IMAX within driving distance, but it's like you can easily get used to and spoiled by those things. So yeah, I would do the same thing, Tony, for sure. Yeah, I agree, Del. One of my
Thank
watching
you.
that was awesome. And
I
you
had
know what
fun
it
doing
is?
it with her.
It encapsulated a time and a period. And the great thing is you could always go back, you know, the braces, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
I
can relive it.
and she can go back and watch it, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, the memories for her
Because she will
too.
get nostalgic for it as she gets
Yeah,
older. Not
yeah.
now. Too cool
No,
now.
no. If I was talking Joe Burrow, then she'd be all about it, but if I'm not talking Joe Burrow, she don't want no part of it.
No. Give her time. She comes they all come back. They all come
Yeah,
back.
they do.
Let's see other comments here. We use the newspaper and look forward to seeing what
Mhm.
was playing that week. When movie phone came out, it was a game changer. It's so true. It's so
Yeah,
true. Um, I remember curtains. Curtains, I tell you.
yeah,
The movie I was telling you about, the one where all the movie lovers go, they still have curtains. So you know they have like a um a machina, like a man who's on like um what you call it, like rivets, and you just start to see the rivets moving and the wheels moving, and it's like he's like basically doing like this, and the curtains come apart. It's
that's cool.
it's so beautiful.
The theater my daughters used to manage, they had ushers still, which was kinda cool. It was a mom and pop theater chain, and, they had, like, 3 or 4 of them. They still had ushers. Before the movies, they'd say, "Hey, you know, thank you for coming," um, tell you what the prices for refills were, tell you to turn your
Hmm.
phones off. If you need anything, come in the lobby, and get us, and then they would thank you for coming. It was nice to still see that,
Yeah,
but you don't see that anymore, really.
yeah. It's definitely a different time. Let's see. So we had a couple of people mention this, and we also mentioned this. You have faces for radio there in your tagline.
Yeah,
So we we can't have a conversation and not talk about
my
second cousin
brother
David.
my brother,
So
man.
how did you and David from 4K Lowdown become friends and then progress from that to co-hosts to pretty much brothers at this point?
Yeah, man,
What's the
I
story
love that
there?
dude. Never met him in person, but he's my brother. Sorry if I get choked up because, dude, he's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
my
You're
friend.
good.
Well, first he sent me a message. He DM'd me on Instagram, "Hey, I want to battle you on Steelbook battle on D-Ray's channel." I was like, "Who is this guy? That's not up to me. You gotta bring that up with D-Ray." So I said, "You gotta message him, but if he's okay with it, you just let me know," and so forth. Maybe a couple months go by, and it ends up happening. I ended up kicking his ass. Ain't gonna lie, I beat him, which is kind of proud of that. And then shortly after that, he asked me to come on his show, The High Five. I think you've been on The High Five, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I forgot about that. And I did that. And then one night he was doing a live stream. I just hopped in the chat. He was saying hi. Thanks for having me again on his show. And he goes, "Hey, you busy?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "Just want to hop on with me?" And I was like, "Oh, wasn't expecting it." So I was like, "Okay, just give me a few minutes." I hop on, and then we end up going for like 3 hours, just
Hmm.
talking. And then after that, we just brainstormed um, how to work with each other. And I said I was game for anything, and then the rest is history.
Yeah. He's a good dude, man.
He really is. He's patient with me because
Mhm.
I forget stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I'm terrible at remembering things. But no, dude, I love that dude. I tell him every day I love him. I'm just trying to hold on a second. I don't want to get choked up.
You're good, man.
But no, guys, just please, KB's got it in the ticker there. Hit his GoFundMe. If you can donate, donate. If you can't, that's okay. Just share the link. Pray for him. Positive thoughts, because he's got a journey in front of him battling cancer. So anything, prayers, monetary donation, would be great.
Yeah. And this is pretty much what we were doing on Friday, just having like
Mm-hmm.
a little hangout, little fundraiser to help him out as much as possible. As
And
you
he
can see
joined us.
here, he's halfway to his goal, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
we still need to get there. He still needs help. You know, as
Yeah,
I always say, send prayers if you don't believe, send good energy,
yeah,
send that good juju, whatever you got to do, man. But monetarily or otherwise, spread the word. That
yeah.
helps too. You know, we were talking about he's a former wrestler, and they had him in what's the name of it? Pro
PWI.
Wrestler Insider.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they had an article about him. They mentioned the GoFundMe and everything, let people know what's going on with him. So he's getting a lot of love all around.
yeah,
But you know, any way that you can support or get the word out will help.
yeah,
You know, there's a lot of people out there that I I don't mean to sound insensitive about it, but they're just waiting for a story where they can help somebody by donating. So
hmm,
get the story out. If
yeah.
you can't turn around and help monetarily or you already have,
Just
thank
spread
you.
the word.
Spread the word. That's the
Yeah,
easiest way. Send your prayers, all that good stuff, man.
yeah.
Any little bit helps.
You know, for me, I can't imagine being going through what Dave is going through.
Mm,
But like I've had hesitations to like I have no desire to do lives. You know what I mean? Because I feel I won't say dirty. I feel guilty. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Because see, I'm gonna start choking up.
you're good, man.
He should be here with me. You know what I mean? He's my brother. Oh man, sorry. I told myself I wasn't gonna do this.
You're good, man. You're with
Uh,
friends.
I want him here every Wednesday, like we normally do. But he has a journey ahead of him, and so just keep praying for him. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
shit.
Guy
So
says here, it's a marathon. Remember him a week, a month. He needs us after that too. You know, I know there's some people that just went in there and immediately donated. We're thankful for that. But
yeah,
you know, a month from now, he's gonna need our help.
yeah,
After he reaches his goal, he's still gonna need our help. You know,
yeah.
if you're familiar with him and you're friendly with him, drop him a line.
Yeah, send him a
Um,
DM.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's receptive. He
Hmm.
responds. He's in a position to do so. Um, I will say this as someone who's personally had health issues, the most you want is normalcy. You just want
Yeah,
someone to just be like, "Hey, what are you watching? What's you know have it's October. What are you watching? You're a big horror
yeah.
fan, which is the main reason I had him on the conversation 2 years
Oh,
ago
he's
for
such a horror
spooky
fan.
season. He watches some things. I'm like, what the hell are you watching, bro?
He made me watch some crazy stuff. I said, why are you making me watch this? I was like, this is disgusting.
But you know what? This is what he needs to hear. He needs
Yeah,
to hear like just have normal conversations.
yeah,
It's not just about the thing the person is going through. It's about the
yeah,
person, and they want that normalcy. They don't want people just reflecting on what they're going through. They know,
yeah,
and we could understand your concern and all that. But I ask me about like what I'm watching. We're movie fans, you know.
yeah,
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what do you have coming up? You know,
yeah,
when are you going to do your next Faces for Radio podcast? Encourage him. Sometimes your
yeah,
support system is more healing than anything a doctor could give you. With that in mind, we were talking about the movie collection challenge, Faces for Radio. You stay up with things, whether it's physical or streaming. Where do you find a time to watch all these movies, dude?
it's I am a night owl.
Uh-huh.
I and my kids are in school. So and then my son, Well, I can rewind a little bit. My son is in daycare, or not daycare. He's in kindergarten now. And he does his own thing, like during the day or something, or he'll sit down and like if it's appropriate movie he'll watch with me. But sometimes I'm up until like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I can run on 2 hours of sleep, and then like since school, like Friday night, I never went to bed after because I had to go to work at 2,
Oh my goodness.
and I just stayed up. I said if I'd give myself a headache if I tried to sleep. But like with my son in school, I can. It's just me here now. I can do like 4 or 5 movies. You know, 4 movies in the afternoon. I got nothing going on. Do my laundry.
Yeah.
Cut the grass.
That was me last week, and it was like, yes, it was Labor Day. Yes, it was my wife's birthday. Yes, we had family here. But I'm like, I got challenges to do. I got movies to watch. And I think I knocked out like 6 movies that day.
Yeah. Some people don't get it. And I love watching movies, especially if you're stressed. You know, it takes you out of that mindset for 2 hours. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I love film, no matter if it's crappy, good, medium. I like it all. I'll watch it at least once.
I just put the GoFundMe in the chat too. So
thank you.
And it's going to be it's actually in the description right now. So that ways to reach Rich. Follow him on YouTube, follow him on Instagram, follow his letterbox, because like he's telling you, dude watches a lot of movies.
I do. It's so funny. Like I'm the one that picks the movies for the Faces for Radio. I go through the calendar or the release schedule, and I just anything new, no matter without seeing the trailer, I wrote it in the schedule. And Dave would send me a message like he'd be like, "What the hell is this, Rich? What? Why are you making me watch this?" I said, "I didn't know what it was."
Right.
And yeah, I do. I wish I could share some of those texts.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they're just like bananas between the two of you.
Yeah, it's funny. I was trying to get him to watch West Side Story, either the original or the remake.
Yeah.
I like the remake too.
Yeah, me too. I thought Spielberg did a good job. The actors were okay. The cinematography was out of this world. You know, especially to turn a stage play into an iconic musical, you know, award-winning Rita Moreno, bring her back.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
And then turn around and, you know, kind of do a remix, you know. Dell could appreciate that comment. It's more like a remix than a remake. Compared to the one from the 60s. Love to see the pics for Faces for Radio. You guys crack me up. Yeah. Please do. Please continue to support them. Continue to support the podcast. 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Yeah. I don't know. I hit like late 40s, early 50s, and I'm like, I can, but I got to be smarter than that. Now, if I see midnight and I'm like, you know, we have certain shows that we watch to go to sleep. It's Golden Girls. It's Who's the Boss.
Oh, Who's the Boss? I love Who's the Boss.
Now it's Martin. And it's like, if I see 12 and I'm still watching and I still have the phone in my hand, I'm like, you know what? 6:30 is going to come fast. I got to start shutting it down. Got to shut it down.
Oh, that's funny. Who's the Boss? I haven't heard anybody say that name in a long time.
Which one?
Who's the Boss?
Oh man, it's on Hulu. I love that.
Is it really?
Show. Yeah. I see you're going to be out watching it tonight.
I might.
There you go.
I used to love Tony Danza.
Go to sleep watching Designing Women. Another great show. I used to do Designing Women. What's her name? Murphy Brown. That was another one. Sitcoms. All sitcoms. I don't know why. So yeah. That's good stuff there. Good stuff. All right. You ready for these 5 takes?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. So the 5 takes, the 5 questions we ask at the end of every conversation. we start as we always do with number one. Name the film that made you fall in love with the movies.
Oh man, this was kind of hard to answer. Um, I want to say Jaws because I remember seeing that and it made me really, really like movies. But everything like from there on was always mainstream, movies. But uh, but my answer is going to be Clerks, the original Clerks. Um, I at that time I had never seen a movie that represented me, you
Yeah.
know, and like not race, not just how I
Yeah.
talk to my friends and then maybe just follow. I was like, okay, I want to see more of this. So it made me go look at more independent films. And yeah, that's my answer. Clerks.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's why I like today. There's so many indie filmmakers
Hmm.
and just stuff like that. I love finding, like we said earlier, hidden gems. I
Yeah.
love that.
That was a great time, man.
Hmm.
I've heard Kevin Smith say that if it wasn't for Spike Lee, She's Gotta Have It, he never would have had the courage to turn around and do Clerks and
Hmm.
max out the 100,000 on the credit cards and all that stuff to
Hmm.
make the movie. And then you look at that time, you had Robert Townsend with things like Hollywood Shuffle. Of course, you had Robert Rodriguez with, you know, El
Yeah,
Mariachi,
she.
and of
Oh
course
yeah,
Desperado, which, those two are pretty popular right now because of the Mexico trilogy. But these guys were like they were doing their independent thing. Of course, everybody thinks that Tarantino, he was
yeah,
more of an independent writer and screenplay writer than he was an independent
yeah.
director. By the time he got his money, he made a full budgeted feature. But like you, I maybe it was at the time I was living in New Jersey, and it was so weird. The state is big, but
Hmm.
I felt I'm in central Jersey. I know where Secret Stash is. It's right over Red Bank. It's like not even 20 minutes from my house. And it's like this dude is over there and he's like doing all this stuff. Um so I followed him through his career. Um, when he came to Kansas City with Red State, I was
Red State.
supportive of that. And then, of course, they had the protesters and all that, which just turned into a Q&A
Yeah.
and all that. But and funny enough, on the center seat this weekend, I'll have a review of the 4:30 movie, his new one.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
looking
I'm
forward
looking
to
forward to
seeing
that.
that. So
Little
even
departure.
even his movies that were, like, less than, when when he went through his weed phase and all that,
Yeah,
it's I've always been a supporter of his because it's, like,
me too.
humble beginnings,
Yeah,
and it's, like, comedy that I got.
yeah.
Like you said, it's not about race, it's just about identifying, so, yeah.
Mhm. It's like me and my friends talking.
Yeah, and,
That's what I
being
like.
a part of USQ-verse and all that stuff,
Hmm.
I kept that forum up, like, for years while I was working in the office,
Yep,
so,
yep.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
amazing. So I could see Clerks, and I know that you are a big Kevin Smith fan, so
I want
I
Clerks.
was waiting for
Clerks
that. I
too.
know Jaws is one of your favorites. I've
Yeah.
done my research, but that's the answer I was expecting.
Yeah.
Alright,
Clerks. Oh,
so
really? You not?
I
Thanks
knew
for
I
good.
knew it had to be, like, something Kevin Smith related,
Yeah.
especially Clerks. So with that in mind, let's go to number 2. Name 5 of your favorite films.
No, no,
No, no order,
no
not
order.
the, just
Yeah.
of.
I'm gonna go with. I already said one. Jaws,
Mhm.
the original Halloween, because
Okay.
uh, Clerks 2,
Hmm.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse,
Yes.
and The Crow.
The OG.
Yeah, the OG, not the trash that just came out. No.
We just had to,
Hmm.
clarity.
So you're a big Spider-Verse fan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Um,
Well, okay, this is something you can understand. Growing up reading comic books, I know I was a big Marvel guy and a big Marvel guy when it came to crews, groups, teams. I didn't care if it was Uncanny X-Men, Alpha Flight, Avengers, whatever, even going into DC stuff with Justice League and all that, JLA, I always said it would be so cool to see my favorite characters on the screen. And then to see the art. I wasn't even thinking live action then. I was thinking like animated. And the way I always thought like how they could have it animated is everything that was in Into the Spider-Verse. The mixing of styles, you know, Twip. When I saw Twip show up, I was like, I'm in love. I'm in love.
And
I'm
you
right
had
there.
the printing dots,
Yes.
remember in
Yes.
some of the shot, and I love that.
Yeah, because it was showing you the different styles. And then the second one just went over the top with all the different anime styles and everything like that. But the first one stuck to comic book styles. So everything from modern graphic artists, which with killer shadowing and all that stuff, back to stuff from the 60s, like you're talking about, like the dot art and all that stuff. So it was great to see like my comic books on screen represented the correct way. And my son and I went to see it. And as we're walking out, I'm like, I don't care what else is nominated. This has to win Best Animated Oscar.
And it did.
And it did. And it did.
I loved Miles. Miles Morales is one of my favorite characters, period. I named my son Miles because after Miles Morales.
That's awesome.
But I remember when this character appeared back in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book in the mid 2000s, I forget what year it was, but I just fell in love with him because you had a Hispanic and an African American kid being Spider-Man, and I thought that was great
because it meant any of us could be Spider-Man.
Yeah, because all he does is put a mask on. It could be anybody.
Yeah,
and I love the representation there. I really did. And then to get him right on screen just made my heart just so happy. I remember sitting, I think I even cried. I ain't gonna lie, I think I did cry the first time seeing that because I remember sitting in that chair and just blown away by what I just watched. And I think now I've seen that movie. I think I've logged it at least 30 times in Letterboxd.
Wow.
But before that, I would just put it on, just turn it on and just watch and watch.
Yeah.
And I just, that's one movie I can just go over and over and over and watch.
When people have home theaters, they normally find what they like to call reference material to show people. And I mean, I have a lot of things I could show. I could show them The Matrix. I could show them Blade Runner 2049 to test out the Atmos. I go to chapter 2 on Spider-Verse when they do the needle drop on the Biggie song. And then I'm like, just enjoy this. And then we end up watching the whole movie from that point. So I have never logged it 30 times, but I know I've shown it to at least 15, 20 people. So I've probably seen all, if not some part of it, 15 to 20 times in the last 2 years of me being down in this basement. It's crazy.
Yeah, I love that film. It's to me, that is the best Spider-Man movie put to screen.
I agree.
It beats
I agree.
live
When
action.
we rank all the Hollands and the Maguires and all that,
Yeah.
I put Spider-Verse right at the top. I'm like, y'all don't understand.
Yeah, some people don't get it. And that's okay. Like our tagline on Faces for Radio, all film is subjective. But sometimes you could be wrong.
It's all opinion too. It's all opinion. All right. Everyone's favorite question. We're going to go to number 3. Name a popular or classic movie that everybody loves. You're not too particular on.
I get a lot of hate. Not hate, but ball busting for it. Because I don't like a lot of things. But I'm going to go with this one because it's almost Halloween season. Hocus Pocus. I cannot stand that movie. Their voices just give me a headache. That movie wasn't made for me.
Right.
That's my pick for, since it's Halloween time ish. I'm gonna go with Hocus Pocus.
Leave your comments.
Yeah, please don't turn me up too bad. I was gonna pick Beetlejuice, but
I just watched that last night because we're going to see the new one tomorrow. We're going to we're doing a double date, and then we're gonna go see that. So
awesome. But my pick is Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna catch up here. Guy put a few comments. Did you ever catch Kevin Smith's live Fat Man Beyond? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I still remember when he started Fat Man Beyond. I remember when he started
with Mark Bernardin.
What you call it? Not the one he did with oh my gosh, the live from the cantina, that one.
That's Fat Man Beyond.
No. The one that he did before that.
Oh, Batman. It was Fat Man on Batman.
No. I'm going back. Hollywood Babylon.
Oh, Hollywood Babylon, Ralph Garman.
Yeah,
Hollywood Babylon. Yes.
Yeah. With all the voices.
Oh, that's funny. That is really funny. Yeah, Hollywood Babylon. I haven't listened to that in years. I don't even think he does it anymore.
No, he doesn't. I quickly mentioned Alpha Flight, one of the greatest Canadian superhero teams. You got that right.
Yeah.
Matrix bank scene, definitely reference material. It is. Two Spider-Verse movies are the best Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Anything else is a distance. I totally agree.
I agree with you, Del.
I agree. I thought Rich was going to answer that with all of them. Yes. All right, let's flip it. Number 4, name a critically hated movie that you love.
Okay, if Nate's still here, he's gonna bust my chops.
And I'm gonna go, Nate.
It's a new movie, the new Footloose.
You love
I really like that movie.
With the girl from Dancing with the Stars?
No, not Footloose. Not Footloose.
Don't say Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, yes. Roadhouse.
Oh my God. I'm going to bust your chops for that.
It was Roadhouse. I said Footloose. I didn't know.
I remember on Friday, I said that was like the worst movie that I've seen this year. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I know why I hated it, because I watched the Vinegar Syndrome of the original Roadhouse, and then we went right into that.
But the original Roadhouse isn't that good.
It's campy good. It's cheesy good.
Okay,
but this one is just bad.
But bad and being like the Michael Jackson bad.
It's not even so bad it's good. It's just bad.
Oh man, I had so much fun with that movie. Oh, I really did. I think I've seen it like 3 times now. So,
what did you enjoy of it mostly?
I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm a Jake Gyllenhaal guy.
Okay,
I like the way
Nightcrawler, but you know, yeah, I'd rather watch him in Nightcrawler or Ambulance. I even liked him in Ambulance.
Nightcrawler, he's so good in that.
He is.
That's just so creepy. But and it felt like there was something behind him. Like he was trying to hold something in. Like he I don't know. I dug it. Conor McGregor was over the top. Every time he was on screen.
That's the only thing I loved about that movie, is how over the top McGregor was.
And I like some of the fight scenes. The one I didn't like was when they went over the bridge. That looked too weird to me.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the Post Malone. I didn't like that either.
Yeah. Austin.
Yeah. I just
all right. Del agrees with you here. New Roadhouse is totally dumb fun. Loved it. OG is also not good, but dumb fun. I guess it's a different kind of dumb fun. Get at me in like 20 years. Maybe I'll have to do a revisit. And I was thinking about that, like revisiting movies that I hated when I first watched, because a lot of times I watch a movie and I'm not in a good mood, and then I realize that just makes me hate the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm blaming Brian De Palma's Raising Cain was the first time that ever happened to me, and I haven't rewatched it since. And that stars John Lithgow, one of our greatest actors of all time. But Lego Movie Part 2, hated that. Roadhouse, hated that.
I don't know. I want to own that movie. I would buy that if it came out. I would.
Okay. I'm just gonna leave that one alone, because I'm not overcritical on the 3rd or the 4th one. I let people have their moment. So that's your moment. Oh my gosh. This was fun. Before we get to number 5. Like I said, long time coming. And after when we met in person, I was like, no, this has to happen soon. Don't Don't let 2024 finish before we end up doing this. Let's see. Maybe in 5 years, the new Roadhouse might be considered Oscar quality. The sad
don't
thing
get
is
too
that
crazy.
might be Oscar material in 5 years, the way it's going down. So you might be right there. Before we get to number 5, I do want to thank you for coming on, for doing this.
Thank you, man.
I want to thank you for everything you're doing for Second Cousin David.
My brother, man.
I know where your heart is. I know why you're doing this, but it's still to be recognized and appreciated. So thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you, man. Thanks for spreading the word. Thank you, everybody who tuned in last Friday, tuned in to see 10 knuckleheads just talking.
And Tiana sometimes.
Tiana, she's such a sweetheart. She's so supportive.
I can't call her a knucklehead.
No, she's always just. I was glad to finally actually get to talk to her face to face. That was kind of nice. But again, thank you guys tuned in for was a little over 4 hours, I think. We went live. I appreciate everyone that did that, who shared that stream. I thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for supporting Dave.
I can't even remember everyone was on there. I won't even start calling names, but the link is in the description. This GoFundMe is in the description.
Yeah.
All the ways to follow Rich is in the description. But definitely, if you can, monetarily or just spreading the word, please do so. It really helps. What are we saying here? Let me get this way. It's always good to support good people. Very true. This has been great. We had fun. Great job.
I always enjoy talking to KB. Such a nice.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I took away. I remember telling Dave after he asked me how the meetup went. I thought it was great. Everybody was awesome, but you stood out to me the most because you have this persona, and you were just like so easy to talk to. It was
make it hard, bro.
yeah, you stood out. So,
like I said,
I appreciate you.
Most people are what you see. I think it would be disappointing if you follow them on YouTube and you see them, and then all of a sudden they're like not themselves. Thank you, brother. Like I know, talking about Mel. I told Mel when I first saw you, I thought it was an act. I really did. I thought the laugh, the outlandish, the craziness. I thought that was all like just for views and numbers. And then I met her, and I spent a weekend with her and the rest of the pack hanging out, watching movies. I'm like, oh my God, this is really her. This is really how she is. And and then I don't know. I adopted. I said, you're my little sis now. Don't let anybody mess with you. I got your back. So it's great to meet people and see that they are who they present themselves to be. So hopefully
there's genuine people out there still.
Yeah, I hope you saw that, and there was integrity in meeting all of us, because that's how I
there really was. I was really shocked. I really was, because everyone that night or that day and night was just fantastic.
Yes,
and I felt blessed to have got to meet all of you.
For sure. And for Sarah, she does not have cancer. If anybody, go ahead and put like a round of applause, or if you're on your phone, put a hand, because I mean, it's no joke. So that is good news. Good to hear. All right, let's land this plane by giving you number 5. Now that you've been through it, you've seen other people go through it, Cory, others, David. Number 5. Who would you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
You've already got Nate coming. Nate's he's so energetic.
And I got to nail down Alex too.
Yeah, you've already got trying to get him. But there's a dude that he's so awesome. He is probably the nicest guy I've never met him, but I've ever talked to. I'm gonna go with Harrison of really old movies. The dude's like 15 years old. No, he's in his 20s, but he's got a 95-year-old man's soul.
I'm gonna write that down.
He was on the stream talking about
Oh, the guy who likes all the old movies.
yes, really old
Oh my
movies.
gosh, he's a darling.
Yeah,
I just wanted to like pick him up and hug him and say, "Oh, can I take you home to grandma?"
Dude, he's like, he came under our high five one time, and all these movies he made us watch, none of them were from the 50s. I was like, oh.
And what's his site? Really old movies?
Really old movies. Yeah.
I like that.
It's really old movies on Instagram and YouTube.
He recommended some stuff, and then he was like, "But you can't watch it because it's not available." I was like, "Damn, how are you watching it?"
He's the one that turned me on to 12 Angry Men. I had never heard of that movie.
Yeah.
And he asked me to be on his podcast to watch that movie and talk about it. And I instantly fell in love with that movie. Went out, I think it was Kino Lorber that put the 4K out. And
so good.
Bought that. And I was like, oh. And then he's the kind of one that got me into Hitchcock. So I'm solely going through Hitchcock. And that's really because of him.
If you ever need some help, because like I said on Friday, Sir Alfred's always looking over my shoulder. I'm like 2 titles away from having the complete release filmography. I mean, there's more, but everyone that's out I have, because I love Hitch. I love his movies. I think he's one of our greatest filmmakers of all time. So
so that's who I think you should have a conversation with.
I think that'd be fun.
I think so too,
because he's definitely an old soul. I'm actually going to tell him I need a list of movies to watch before, so we could talk about that.
Yeah, such a good guy.
Yeah, and he's young.
He is. He's
young for having that type of movie.
And he's into comic books too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Let's check these last comments before we land this plane here. Great job, you two. I miss seeing you two every week, Rich. Yeah.
We miss everyone too.
Yeah.
But we said that we were going to take it slow. Only when he felt like he could handle it, we would do a show. And right now, his health is more important than watching some silly movies.
Yeah.
But we'll be back. Fixers for
Radio. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Get him back. Let's see. Good pick. Really old movies. I like that.
Yeah.
12 Angry Men. It is an acting class.
Really is.
And people always ask me if I could pick like a director for people to understand and have like just vast genres and all that. And I always say Sidney Lumet. Start with 12 Angry Men and go from there. I mean, the movies that he's done, and he even put out a book on making movies, and it covers everything from screenwriting to doing read-throughs with actors to directing. The man is a boss.
Yeah.
Harrison did a Comic-Con video that I love. Cool.
Yeah, he was at Comic-Con this year.
Yeah. We got some prayer groups going up, working hard.
Thank you.
Dave. Yeah. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in, everyone lurking, everyone in the chat, everyone watching on replay. Please leave comments. Please follow Rich. Please follow Faces for Radio. Go back and watch some older episodes if you're new to it. These guys, they cover everything.
We watch a lot of stuff. like we do 5 movies, physical, digital, and movie theater. That was our 3 criteria. They had to be within like a 3-month period of a release date that we would review them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work. Watching a lot of crap.
I'm sure. So the production shows the time that you guys put in with your ratings and all that just comes through. So definitely, if you've never checked them out, go back and watch a couple episodes or listen to a few episodes if you go the podcast route.
Yeah, we're on Spotify.
Yeah. I want to thank you once again for coming on. Thank you, everyone,
for
Yeah, man. We got to do something again.
Yeah.
If you decide to like we want to do a couple episodes in the interim, you know, consider me. I'm always
Okay.
willing to hop on and help out. So until next time, go watch a movie. Go watch some
Thank you,
Hitchcock or
guys.
12 Angry Men, or go watch a Kevin Smith movie. Go watch 4:30 movie this weekend. Whatever you
I
got
know.
to do. Have a good night,
All right.
everyone.
Bye, guys.